Good morning from the office. I'm your host, BKP. I could not wait to get here this morning. I'm going to look in the camera and ask you, when exactly did you lose your virginity? I don't know. That's what Martha McCowan asked Kavanaugh last night. You know, when you have done a story too long, when a story has been on the books too long, especially for this host, is when I can actually spell Kavanaugh now. With all the A's and the V's and the H's and the, or H or whatever, I can spell it. All right, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Okay. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, that's 706-889-9700. 706-889-9700. And also, you can reach me at chieffetchernews.com. I'm going to turn the volume off here. chieffetchernews.com. Also, follow us on Twitter at FetcherNews, at FYNTV. We are back streaming live on YouTube, so we'd like for you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. YouTube asked us to take a 90-day break, which we did, although we filed many we objected to it strongly, but they said you need a 90-day break. But we are back live on YouTube this morning, started back yesterday. So if you can't get us on FYNTV.com, you can get us on YouTube if you subscribe to our channel. Thank you to our 22,000 subscribers now to our channel, and that is FYNTV Fetcher News. So, yes, I watched Martha McCowan. Yes, I watched her ask. You know, there's so many things you want to say. Were you sitting there last night? Did you watch it? And when she said to him, like, did you have sex in high school? No, I did not. College, it was many years later. I'm not going to go into detail. Many years later. A Supreme Court Justice nominee. Now, I read a great article yesterday dating back from 1981 on the Founding Fathers' intent on appointing Supreme Court Justice. And there has been battles, okay, in our history dating back all the way to the late 1700s on appointing Supreme Court Justice that may have been down party lines. But anyhow, there has been battles all through our history, but this is the lowest of the low. And I'm not surprised Kavanaugh went on TV with Martha McCowan. He did a great job. For those that say, well, he didn't answer so many questions. Once again, cutting through the interview, his brilliance of understanding that as a Supreme Court Justice, every word last night he said is a possible scenario on the bench, okay? So there's going to be, the left is going to come out today and tell you what all he did not answer. All he wanted to do last night is sit next to his wife, which is just terrified. She's terrified. It was just troubling last night to watch that. She is absolutely terrified. They have had threats that I don't even want to get into, the amount of threats this beautiful family. I mean, you have to go in a different direction than most commentators are, and I'm going to step out a little bit. This is an attack on the family, okay? You got to understand what they don't like, all right? And this is going to maybe win me a couple friends, and at the same time, it might be a win-win because I might lose a couple, I might win a couple. But they're complete. The whole thing is their complete attack on the family. You have to understand something, and this is regardless of who likes it or not. The left does not like the family. They want to create the new normal. And I double off Rush Limbaugh when Obama, President Obama was elected, and obviously we were not doing the show at that time. When President Obama was elected, Rush Limbaugh coined the new normal. And Hollywood shoved the new normal down your throat. You know, they want to set the agenda, the narrative. They want to decide what normal is for you and I, okay? Now, you have to understand, first of all, Kavanaugh is white. He's a white male. Second, he happens to be married. But this is to a woman, okay? Now, you may think I'm being silly, but this is the truth. This is the attack that the family is under. So he happens to be married to a woman, okay? Now, if he was married to another man, because I tell you what, they're waiting for the day where a openly gay, and I say it like that, you can make your determination, an openly gay Supreme Court justice. Remember, at this time, everybody's supposed to, according to the left, everybody's supposed to have their representation on there. Clarence Thomas did not fit what they expected for the representation of the African American community. Very upset over that. Elena Kagan may have met some criteria for some groups, but they are looking for, and I'm not going off the rails, the first openly gay, all right, Supreme Court justice that is actually, the president comes up, and this is true, okay? Just like I said, I'm going to lose some friends this morning, and I'm sorry. I don't want to lose you. I love you. You know, I'm a each to his own. When you get home, it's my property. I do what I want. But they want a president of the United States to have the whole ceremony, okay? Why am I doing this? But they want him to have the whole him or her have the whole ceremony of coming down and making the announcement of the Supreme Court justice, okay? And then what they want that individual that's being chosen for the Supreme Court to have his or her significant partner. So if it's a woman, another woman, a man, another man. That's what they want. Oh, you're missing everything. They are crazy. Crazy. Then what they want is they want the optics of two little kids with them that they adopted through the Catholic Church. I knew it. That's where I got in trouble. Oh, absolutely. Because that's why Catholic charities, Catholic churches have totally stopped adoptions in how many states? All right? And other faith-based organizations. You see, if Kavanaugh gets on the bench, he may protect faith-based organizations. He may protect, through the Constitution, in a case, he may protect a faith-based organization's right to bake the cake. A faith-based organization's right to exercise their faith in this country and not participate in something they don't wish to do. He may be a part of making a decision to where the Catholic Church could say, hey, we are a faith-based organization. There's 4 other organizations down the street where you can adopt. See, he could do that. That has sent them over the edge. You need to know who they are before you go vote Democrat. You're not voting Democrat. So many of you are not voting Democrat, much like many of us are not voting Republican. I have to admit, okay? We got some bad eggs on our side. But I will tell you, Jeff Flake, Corker, whatever. But you have to understand, you're not voting Democrat. There's still a lingering thought that a Democrat is your grandfather's Democrat and they're a Democrat. That made no sense because that's it. They make no sense at all now. But you need to understand that's what they want. The fear of Kavanaugh being on the bench. Do you know how many cases? You're saying, wow, you went there. Yes, Brett Kavanaugh may be in place in a 5-4 court that may defend your religious beliefs, your faith base may defend that under the Constitution. They must stop this now. You must be able to have abortion on demand now. You must make sure that you excel the new normal that they want you to accept. You see, if you go look at the picture of Kavanaugh, his wife, okay, the two children, no matter who gets mad, it encompasses everything they don't want. Why, it's your right to go out and get married and have children. We didn't tell you couldn't do that. Just saying. I'm telling you right now, it's terrible that this woman has to sit there and hear this about her husband. It's terrible. Those little girls have to be told by their mother, don't forget, in the end, he's still your dad and you know who he really is. Did you hear that last night? How is it talking to your children? Well, I talk to them and I tell them when this started, there's a lot of bad things going to happen. But you know what? She said, I didn't anticipate this, right? A lot of bad things are going to happen, but at the end of it, don't forget, this is your dad, and you know who he really is. She's telling the little girls, not who these people want you to believe your dad is, who he really is. Anyhow, I watched the interview last night, and here's the thing. They can't take it because Kavanaugh's not going to leave, okay? I mean, they thought, see, the Democrats thought that, they think Republicans. And let me be clear on something else. This is not Mitch McConnell. For those that want to give Mitch McConnell some credit, that want to give Grassley some credit, this is coming from the White House, is my opinion. Okay? In the past, all right, wusses at the White House joined wusses in the Senate to wuss out and ask a nominee to leave. I mean, there was times with George W., different presidents, that, a Democrat could say, hey, we found out that an illegal cut your grass last Sunday. Okay, I'm out. And the next news flash is, well, the White House has removed the nomination, or they've removed the nomination. They've recalled the nomination of, so-and-so, and going to be putting in a new nomination next week. Why? Because we found out an illegal cut his grass last week, and they all shook in fear. You have to understand, there's only two people that don't have the fear here, no matter what they want to lead you to believe. That's Donald J. Trump and Brett Kavanaugh. I'm serious. And Don McGahn. Let's not forget Don McGahn. This is coming out of the White House. And Kelly. The White House is sending a firm message to Mitch McConnell. You will move forward, because the American people will judge you. McConnell, this is the stuff we don't know, but I'm guessing. McConnell's telling Grassley, we will move forward. And then we have the guy nobody recognizes. That's Lindsey Graham. Even Joe, even Morning Joe said, John McCain's not even cold. And who is Lindsey Graham? I mean, what happened to Lindsey Graham? Right now what we need is a Lindsey Graham more like John McCain. And supposedly Lindsey Graham said, John McCain would have liked Donald Trump if he had taken the time to get to know him. Now they want Lindsey Graham to recuse himself. Any senator that has determined their vote, regardless of the allegation, regardless of the information, must recuse themselves. Why? They should just go ahead and recuse themselves, because they will not change their mind. Really? How about all the video we have of Democrats saying we will destroy this nomination, we will resist this nomination, we will end this nomination at all costs, Chuck Schumer said. No matter what we have to do, we will stop it, and you're seeing that. The craziest of the crazy. And no matter what happens, this woman is telling the truth. We will never vote for whoever you send up, period. Maybe they should have to recuse themselves for making the statement before they heard him out at all. How many Democrats said, never will I consider voting to approve Kavanaugh for Supreme Court? How many? Before the night President Trump had the guy at the podium introducing him, before that night ended, the CNN was flooded, MSNBC, and they were doing the we'll never vote for this guy, never. They had the meetings, we'll never vote for this. They didn't wait for the meetings. They didn't wait to talk to the guy one-on-one. They didn't wait for the confirmation hearings before they decided. They should have just moved away. Now her attorney, Christine Blasey Ford, says, you know what? We don't want him to rebut her statement. We don't want another woman prosecutor to question her. They're coming up with a list a mile long of why they don't think Thursday will work out for them based on the Republicans' bad intentions. Not based on the fact that they don't have a single witness. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. It is Tuesday morning. Give me number 3. In the queue. Number 3 in the queue. My glasses. Michael Avenatti is working on a 48-hour. He's getting ready to drop the bomb. While Brett was out buying drugs, him and the boys from the Catholic school. And they were feeding these girls drugs and alcohol, and then they were charging admission. They had a line out back. Okay, we have the girls ready. That would be more like stuff that, give me number 6. Okay. That would be more like her party. Would it not, Mr. Avenatti, Stormy Daniels? You're a porn star that you represent, that your case is falling apart, that the judge is getting ready to throw out of court. So you need a whole new thing. Are you on retainer at CNN? Like, do you have to come on and make up so much stuff a month to get your check? What won't you do? And what will they not fall for at CNN? Why, Michael Avenatti is going to be bringing some information. Because what happened is he has learned from the porn star side of the world a couple tricks of his own. Did I say that? I shouldn't have. Let's go back to number 3. Avenatti, just paraphrasing here, will have someone with credentials. Someone from the State Department, a former friend, that will come out. And witnesses, I mean a long list of witnesses, to corroborate the story of Judge, the one guy, he thinks he could stop this ball from rolling. He thinks he could stop Grassley and McConnell. He thinks he could stop Republicans in their tracks. Because if he can, if he is the guy that can cause the Republicans to crack and ask for that nonsense of an FBI investigation, why, that could be something that he could use where? On the campaign trail to get radical support from the resistance. Why, he could be lead resistor. He could have a crown and everything. I'm in charge now, folks. I've taken over. I'm the lead in this whole operation. That, as crazy as I sound, is as crazy as it is. Period. Okay? We come back. You remember that letter that was swiped off the president's desk to keep us from getting into World War III? Remember that? You remember the Trump Tower investigation? I mean, the Trump Tower meeting that has the head spinning off of all liberals? It was campaign cash. You see, it had a value and he didn't report it. It should have been reported because there was a value to the meeting. Right here in this office, I interviewed a Democrat that said, what about that Trump Tower meeting? It had value. That's campaign finance law broken right there. Let's go to break, but wait a minute. Before we do, let me just say this. Generally, the rule is, and this goes for your state, your majority leader in your Senate, no matter what body it is, state or federal, your majority leader in your Senate, the House leadership, you do a whip count on your vote. The rule is not to bring, you don't want to lose, you don't want to fall on your face, you don't want John McCain to be the last one to go like that, thumbs down. So the rule is unwritten that you have the votes. You don't bring something to the floor without the votes. McConnell's counting votes today. He's not even concerned if the woman's showing up Friday's my opinion, or should not be concerned, okay? He's counting votes, all right? He's counting votes on a couple levels. If she shows up, how many of you want to hear what she says? That's Christine Blasey Ford, and you want to make your decision after you hear from her, okay? That's first and foremost. Second, okay? Second, put up number 20. Second, will you vote yes if she doesn't show up Thursday? Okay, if she doesn't show up Thursday, will you move on, all right, and vote? So he's counting votes today for what he has, and they're a sure thing of 40, and several are undecided because they'd like to hear what she says. If she doesn't show up, they don't know what they're going to do. And Jeff Flake and Susan Collins, and what will Joe Manchin do because West Virginia's on the line, so they're counting the votes today. Now, Democrats do not want to be the deciding vote. They don't want to be. There will be Democrats vote, yes, if they know the Republicans, even including Mike Pence for the final vote there, but if they know that the Republicans will vote yes, and if they can get it up without Pence to the 51 mark or what they need there, if they can get it up there, there's some Democrats who will throw in and vote. Yes. As long as back home they can't be called the deciding vote. So that's taking place right now as we speak. If Grassley and McConnell do not vote on this, they will lose the House and Senate. And I know that's been said already by other commentators and talk shows. If they do, Republicans will. Republicans, that'll be the straw that breaks the camel's back if they do not bring this to a vote. If there's not enough votes to get the guy confirmed, it doesn't matter. Now, wait a minute, it doesn't matter. McConnell needs to hold a vote. This could be the issue. If there's an upside to this whole disaster, okay, they have exposed themselves. The cream has come to the top. It's the craziest thing. People, I've told you over and over, trust the American people's common sense to prevail, all right? Somebody said, yeah, but they don't have the votes. No. Trust the American people at the ballot box. That's where you really need the votes right now. You need to win the House. You need to win the Senate. You need to win the House and Senate so you can be on track to overturn the swamp and the deep state that you claim you voted for Donald Trump to do in the first place. Okay? So you got to make your senators vote. If Kavanaugh is not confirmed, that will blow up the Republican support. I mean, it will be what drives Republicans to the ballot box. But McConnell has to vote on this. Even if there's 3 or 4 Republicans that vote no and he's not confirmed, McConnell has to vote on this. And if Republicans fall 4 votes short, 3 votes short, Republicans in Georgia that say we're not going to let Maine tell us what to do, Republicans in Texas that say we're not going to let Bob Corker control this country, we've worked too hard, Republicans maybe in Florida, if DeSantis and Scott use it properly, may say, you know what, we're not going to let Jeff Flake decide for us, we've worked too hard. It may fire up Republicans where we need the engine moving at high speed. That's my opinion. We'll be right back. I want to talk about North Korea, South Korea. We'll talk about that a little bit. I want to talk about the Trump Tower meeting. We'll talk a little bit about that. And there's so much more going on. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live online morning show, and we'll be back after these messages.